Hello, this is Priscilla Ficklin McCalop, all the way live from Ellenwood with the Red Carpet Interviews. We are here tonight with the first certified platinum songwriter in the world. And as Mr. Ronnie Hudson would say, the first black man to be a first certified songwriter in the nation, in the world, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, he's the writer of Disco Lady for Johnny Taylor, which a lot of y'all remember. Move it in, move it out, move it in, round and round, Disco Lady. Now, how many can get an opportunity to sing that song with the original writer? So that's so cool. So anyway, also he is a Grammy songwriter inducted into the Grammys, and also a gold writer. Love artists got a hold on me. Love artists got a hold on me. So see the 7 sounds. Mr. Scales did that song with the 7 sounds. Harvey Scales did the 7 sounds out of Milwaukee.
Another song was also covered by the great Jay Giles band.
Made it go.
With Peter Wolf, you know.
Yes.
And it actually was an R&B song, which they made kind of a rock, blues rock, you might say.
Nice.
Did it real good.
They did real good.
Yeah, yeah.
They made you a gold song, right?
Yeah.
So they did really
They got the gold.
Can you get the gold for being a songwriter?
Yeah.
But you got the credit for it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got some money for it too, which is good. You
We
know.
gonna get some more money.
I hope so.
Send the money. J. Giles Band. And we are so elated to be here with Mr. Harvey Scales. And also, we have a show looking over the shoulders of Mr. Harvey Scales. Mr. Harvey Scales has opened so many doors for us here on the red carpet. You know, his friends are so cool about calling, answering the phone when we call. And we just love his friends. Not as much as we love you, but we do love your friends.
Yeah.
Because they're so kind.
I love all you guys too.
Thank you so much, Mr. Scales.
All my friends and all my fans around the world now, because it was a long time before I knew that I was stretching around the world. Really found out more when I went to England and finally to Italy and France and didn't really know that they knew us like that over there, me and the band. But they did, and they knew all our music, and now they know my music even better than they did then, because there are more archives and collectors of real music over there. Like the last time I went to London, which was 2008, no 2007, they were still really listening to Otis Redding and Percy Sledge and all that stuff, and a lot of my very old records I forgot about. They was bringing me to sign. You know?
And also, I went out and checked once on eBay, and I believe I saw one of your songs out there. A collector was willing to pay $8,500 for it.
Oh yeah, but they called me and said you can find this record is worth quite a bit of money, and I tore up my house, everything, the garage, and I almost got kicked out of the house. You know?
Don't kick him out.
Looking for that record, you know. Yeah. You know, because when you have records like that, and Disco Lady now too, which has lasted 40 years,
Oh my goodness, yes.
They put you in the legend category. Me and my band started so early. You know, way back in the 60s, and our popularity grew in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and then here I am in the 2000s, you know, still very popular, you know.
Very
popular. And that gives you the legendary status. And that legend thing really means so much, because we got so many young people coming up that's doing music that can really learn from us.
Yes.
You know, I was watching one of my favorite young artists is Bruno Mars, and I was watching one of his shows the other night. He was at the Apollo.
Oh yes.
And it reminded me so much of my band. You know, the horns and the steps and all that. of course we were doing different steps, but similar to what he was doing. Which I know he got a lot of stuff from James Brown and Joe Tex and all that. And watching a lot of films that we did and James Brown did and Michael Jackson. And he really puts it, Bruno Mars really puts it out there.
He was good.
Yeah, and
excellent.
And he does a lot of new music, like That's How I Like It, a lot of music. But he always keeps that old school feel to his shows. I like that.
And so, is that the reason why he can gravitate towards the older people or boomers like ourselves and the young people because of his style?
Yeah. Well, see, one thing about music, songs are great. They keep you in there, they keep you running. But what really make you great if you can entertain. Because there's nothing better than live, seeing it live, you know.
Yes.
And he is a great entertainer. As you know, Michael Jackson was a great recording artist and all that. But when he started doing the videos, Thriller and all that, is when he became really huge.
Yes.
You know, and then his live shows was untouchable.
Right.
You know, nobody can touch him yet. Bruno Mars is close, but still it's a long ways before Michael Jackson.
So I'm glad you brought up Bruno Mars because we had this debate going on if the show was live, or was he really singing live, and was he really performing and singing live, or was it pre-recorded? So an artist like
he was singing live. I could tell, being from the Apollo before myself, I know that especially when the Apollo's doing something with the TV networks and stuff, they have expert sound, you know. And the Apollo itself has expert sound even when it's not on TV. It's built for sound, you know. And if you're really watching somebody on stage, you can tell if they're lip syncing or singing. And Bruno Mars be moving a lot like Michael Jackson was and singing. And Janet Jackson's good at that too. Yeah.
Yes.
And probably Beyonce too. You know, I know that sometimes she don't sing, but most of the time she does. You know, yeah. It's not easy to do all that performing and singing at the same time because singing is wind.
Yes.
You know, and everything comes from your diaphragm. So, and you got to be in great shape to do what they do. You know.
So, thank you so much for clarifying that for us. We appreciate you so much, Mr. Scales. And so we want to find out about you, about some of the things that you learned in this industry. Like, what did you learn along the way as an entertainer? And from the time you started as a young man, from your first gig up until now as a successful
Well, what I really learned more than anything is you're nothing without your fans. You know, I mean, you can stand up there and sing and dance and whatever, but if nobody's paying attention to you, you might as well go home. You know.
Just call it a day.
Yeah, you can do that in practice at home, but when you can draw a lot of people, and every time you come out to do a show, and you got a big crowd screaming your name and everything. There's nothing like that. That's the best feeling. That's a thrill, you know. To have fans like that, you know. Which on stage, especially in my younger days, I would, like Bruno Mars, I would give it all I had. Tear my clothes off, whatever, split my pants, whatever. I keep going, you know. And back then, I used to try to do the splits and all that. I would always split my pants, you know, and tear my pants up on the knees because I'd be trying to do the James Brown. Please, hit my knees and all that. I go home, my mom said, "What's your knees going bleeding, boy?" And my knees were bleeding.
Did you have a cake? Somebody put the cake on?
Yeah, mama made me a lot of cakes because when I went and saw James Brown first, that's what made me want to get in the business was James Brown, yeah. And the 7 Sound, we just kind of like started our band. We had a couple of horns. After we saw James Brown, next thing you knew, we had all kind of horns in the band, you know. And I said, that's what I want to do. I want to tell my mom, I said, I need some capes. She made me capes and everything, all that, you know. So I came out trying to do the James Brown too, you know. Most people copied off of James Brown. Not most people, but most young black entertainers back then. What really helped me is me and my band started really recording a lot in the early 60s, like 65 and 64. So that's around the time I first saw James Brown, 63. And that really got me interested in really performing. But what really got me interested in writing a lot is when I went to Detroit, me and the band, and like in 67, you know, I was kind of writing before that, but I really became a writer after we went to Detroit, and I met Smokey and all the, a lot of guys that played with him, James Jameson, Benny Benjamin, who was a friend of mine at the time, Robert Smith. These were all part of the Funk Brothers, the original ones, you know. We learned a lot from them. They was a band that backed Motown, you know. Me and my band started really recording a lot in the early 60s, like 65 and 64. So that's around the time I first saw James Brown, 63. And that really got me interested in really performing. But what really got me interested in writing a lot is when I went to Detroit, me and the band, and like in 67, you know, I was kind of writing before that, but I really became a writer after we went to Detroit, and I met Smokey and all the, a lot of guys that played with him, James Jameson, Benny Benjamin, who was a friend of mine at the time, Robert Smith. These were all part of the Funk Brothers, the original ones, you know. We learned a lot from them. They was a band that backed Motown, you know. I'm gonna say, I have to back up a little bit and tell everybody out there how it actually really started from the beginning.
You still gonna ask the question?
No, I can. Okay. It'll be great. Go ahead.
Well, I can't do it like that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me back up like that. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I like to back up and tell everybody out there how it truly really began. Before I even got with the Seven Sounds, I used to sing with the doo-wop groups. Me and my mom lived across the street from the playground where everybody hung out at. And we used to do all the doo-wops, you know, like the Dells, and the group back then was called the Eldorados, for people right remember, many people can remember that, the Eldorados and all that. Crazy little mama come on, knocking at my front door. You know, that was the Eldorados. And the Platters, you know, oh yes, I'm the great pretender. You know, that was another one that we started singing. We didn't really have no backup music, you know, but we had guys singing in groups like Al Jarreau, who was always out there singing with us, you know. And my group, the Playboys, and his group, they was from the east side. And where we stayed was like kind of midway to the east side and the west side in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, believe it or not. And all these groups back then, they were kind of like gangs, where instead of fighting, they would have singing battles, you know, see who could sing the best. And back then, you didn't have no girlfriends if you couldn't sing, you know. But if you could sing real good, you had a lot of them, you know. You know, so that's what really spurred us off to singing. But see, I was singing in the choir at church. And the church is right next to the playground. And we would go to choir rehearsal. And after that, me and friends of mine would sneak to where the groups, singing groups was, the doo-woppers. And you know, people would be, shut that noise up down there. We get, oh, what a night. Y'all be quiet. We say, okay, all right, you know. And I remember that more than anything, you know. And then some of them would come out their house after we got pretty good. They start screaming. You know, they'd come down. They're back again. Let's go hear them, you know. And from that point, the group I got with was called the Esquires. And they made a record. Get on up.
Get on up.
Get on up now. Get on up. Get on up. Yeah.
Gonna dance,
We gonna dance, dance, dance. We gonna dance, dance, dance. And boo-hoo.
Get on up.
You too.
Our band probably played
The
that.
monkey.
We gonna do the monkey.
The feeling of two.
We gonna do the jerk. Just me and you. Yeah, that was a fun song. But anyway, the group, the Esquire I was singing with, they made that song. But before I wasn't there actually when the song came out, because the two guys, the Moore brothers, that was the basic ones in the group, kind of started a group with me. They went to reform school for about 2 or 3 years, and I got with the Seven Sounds, singing with them, you know, and this guy named Lee Brown, he was the actual vocalist, but at this time Sam and Dave had got popular, so we was doing all the Sam and Dave songs, and you know, there was a couple other guys, duo guys, but that time too, there wasn't Sam and Dave, but like it was some guys called, I think it was Bobby Purefoy, and but anyway, they had a record called Pull My String and I'll do anything, I'm your puppet. You know, all those kind of songs. Then backfield in motion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to penalize you. Yeah, you know. In motion, yeah. You know that's against the rules. Yeah, and all them kind of songs, me and this guy Lee Brown would be singing with the Seven Sounds. So, you know, that was my experience as a duo. And as things went on, we got hired to go, we cut a record called Get Down. Excuse me. The people I met in Detroit, when we played this place, we became the house band at Phelps Lounge. That's where I met the Funk Brothers, who was the backup band for Motown. We played on all the Motown songs. And they played mostly at a place. They had 2 places in Detroit. One was called the 20 Grand. This is where the Supremes and Temptations and most of the Motown people played, you know. Now the place we played was called Phelps. This is where the blues, the funk, and all this stuff, the Parliaments and all that, they played there, you know. And we became the house band there because we came one year and Etta James didn't have her band, and we backed Etta James up, and we became predominantly Etta James band. And then after Etta, the Dales came, and we backed the Dales. They had Oh What a Night back then, you know. And then it was just group after group, the originals, Baby I'm For Real and all that stuff. We backed them, and the Falcons, You're So Fine. Remember that?
So fine, so fine.
Yeah. And I walk and I talk about you. Yeah.
I probably knew about it.
Yeah, you might not have been born
No,
yet.
I don't think I was born in that song.
Well, we used to get together, try to put things in the right perspective every time we did a show, because we didn't have a lot of money back then, but we always like to dress sharp, you know. So what we would do, and especially in Detroit, Chicago, they had certain stores where the entertainers could went and got these what we call sharp clothes, and you know, especially if they were real vivid in color, like you know, purple or red or you know, white. You know, that's what the you know, the Temptations and all really started some, because they kind of started that vivid dress, you know, that made, you know, and so, other words, they made everybody be sharp, you know. So, yeah, we had a show to do sometime. It would take us a couple of weeks to get it right, but everybody would get a suit. There's a place in Detroit called Hot Sam's. In Chicago, it was Smokey Joe's, the Shy Lights, Tyrone Davis, Major Lance, everybody in Chicago used to go to Smokey Joe's to get them sharp suits. Gus George, Gus George was mostly here in Atlanta. He made his own clothes, plus he made clothes for all of us, you know. And then he was sewing up until Luther Vandross died. Oh. Yeah, he made stuff for Luther. Really? I know he had stuff in his shop a long time. Leather jumpsuits that Eddie Kendrick had and David Ruffin. Yeah, and he was right out there on Roosevelt Highway for a long time. He had a shop, and George is something else. You know, he said, "Man, I know you want this. Luther had on this. Luther had Vandross for this, and this is Eddie Kendrick." I said, "Man, can't nobody wear Eddie Kendrick's clothes. He didn't weigh but 100 pounds, you know." and yeah, Gus George is another legend. Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I forgot to tell you, speaking of legends, I'm gonna be in the studio this December right now, December 15th, with the one and only Bobby Rush.
Bobby Rush.
Yeah, and we're writing.
Oh my goodness, I love him.
Yeah, we're recording.
Bring me that Bobby Rush.
Yeah, recording and writing some songs together. And you know, Bobby Rush was phenomenal and did a phenomenal thing last year, because you know he got a Grammy, and so did William Bell, Lifetime Achievement type Grammys. Yeah, and he's going to be nominated again this year.
Is he?
Yeah, so they're going to be submitting the album that me and him is doing up to the Grammys again.
That is excellent.
Yeah. So that's what we try to get through before January. You know.
So do you think you'll make the red carpet events next year in January?
Yeah, January. What's the date?
I'll find out the date for you for the Grammys in 2018.
Yeah, usually it's in February.
February, okay.
Usually, but I've heard it being in January. I've seen it in February and March before. Okay. And it's usually in LA or New York. This year I heard it might be in New York. I don't know how true that is. But if you can find out, I think I either ask Bobby or Rush. He knows.
Well, congratulations, Bobby Rush, William Hart, for your accomplishments and your accolades throughout these times, and we just love your music. We love your music.
I love him too. Yeah, he's really legend. I've known Bobby a long time. Really a good man.
So you got an opportunity to emulate the Temptations and some other famous group during your time with the Seven Sounds. So how did you prepare, and so how did you pour your shows together?
Oh yeah, that's a great question, because we rehearsed all the time. You know, I mean, we became the top group, the top band, very sincerely without bragging. We became the top band, but because we rehearsed so much. Okay. And I want to tell all the young people out there, you can get anything you want to, you know, any job you want to get done, but you got to rehearse.
You got to work hard. Right. Work hard, whether it's rehearsing, just work hard. So, you mentioned rehearsal. So what does it take, Mr. Scales, to be a polished entertainer?
Well, the real thing is, first of all, just like I said, rehearsal, that's number one. Okay. Number two is you always got to have respect for your audience. You know, I mean, no matter how you feel, sometimes you might not feel good, you know, but you got to always put on your performance face, you know. And you could have had a bad day, but ain't nobody supposed to know that, you know. And so you gotta just be prepared, you know, and realize that your main thing you want to do is have a great performance every time you go on stage.
You mentioned performing and a good attitude for your audience. So what about as a group, as a band working together?
That's what we had. We had brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
And we really did. I mean, we stayed together a long time, at least over 20-some years, you know. And we when we started young, it was hard because we was in high school and just out of high school. And we still kept it going, you know. If one of us had a problem, we all had a problem. That's what we always looked at it. I love the 7 Sounds. And I've had different people play with me, which I appreciated. But I've never had that kind of love.
That loyalty.
Yeah, that loyalty and that love as brothers, you know.
You mentioned that you all were like brothers,
right,
and that you did a lot of things together. So what does it take for a band to stay together that long? For bands such as the 7 Sounds or any band to stay together that long?
Right. Understanding what you see, everybody, you know, I mean, we live together, but we didn't live together all the time.
We're together all the time.
Everybody has separate lives.
Okay.
And the main thing is to understand what this person's going through, what this person's going through. And they might not be always going through what you're going through, you know, and if they're having a rough day, try to realize it and have them have a good day, you know, and that's what keeps you together.
Keep each other lifted up.
Right, right.
Okay, could you tell us as a group, how was the business aspect of the band? How did the business part come together to make you so successful?
Well, I think because we had 2 heads of better than one. We had the guy that led the group was actually the bass player that kind of took care of the business part of the band, and I kind of took like care of more of the show business part of the band.
Okay.
You know, he took care of the actual signing the contracts and all the building the shows and all that. I didn't have to have all that on my head. All I had to do was worry about putting on a good show and having the band put on a good show. And I think that's what really made us, you know, be as exciting as we were.
So you want to talk about your picture over that you brought with you to show to our audience, to your fans, Harvey Scales fans across the world?
This is a special picture.
You want to get it for you? Oh, he said you can get it.
I get it.
Yes.
Yes, I always tell everybody that this is a real special picture because it's in stone. And I think me and Isaac Hayes and another person is the only one that's got this. It was given to me in Memphis by an award show that they have one time called the Stone Awards. And this is pure stone. Gotta be Arnold Schwarzenegger to pick this up. This is real.
There's a song so they can see you. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's real heavy, and it's really like kind of one of a kind, you know.
Could you tell us about the Stone Awards and where it's held each year and whatnot?
Okay, the Stone Awards is held in Memphis by a guy named Cam Mackenzie. And I started doing this because his mother, they started the Stone Awards, and they give politicians in the area and different people that really uplift the community. Yes. They give them one of these every year. And few entertainers that get it. That's why I was really glad to get this, because it goes mostly to the community survivors.
Okay,
and
so
his mother left an abusive situation in Mississippi years ago, and she walked from Mississippi to Memphis. Mm-hmm. And I think it was about 9, it was 9 of them were kids, and they called them 9 little mustard seeds, and she looked behind her as she was walking, and they was following her. They left home too.
Wow.
And so they got to Memphis, and that's her story, and she became activist for the communities in Memphis, fed all the kids, kept all as many kids as she could out of jail, and she helped the young women that was pregnant and didn't have no home and stuff. And she became a real big person in the community. And her favorite song was Disco Lady, and I went and did a thing for them, and they paid this for me.
This is absolutely stunning. This is beautiful. And shout out to the Stone Awards for honoring the first
Cam, thank you.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you. So, Mr. Scales, as we 40, 50 years later, what's the difference in the music industry today as opposed to when you were coming through the industry?
When we first started, the record promotion, the recording of the record, everything was different. Back then, sometimes we would have the whole band, the background singers, and everybody in the studio, and just really having a party and enjoy. It was so much fun recording there, especially at Stax and Chess and those major studios back then. Now, I can record a part one day, and another guy could be in New York recording this part, another guy could be in England, and they over the computer, and we can do it like that now. And it sounds good, but it's not as real feeling as it was back then. They're still trying to get, I hate to keep saying James Brown, but he was the greatest for party music especially. And it's hard to get that, get up, get on up, get up, with the computer, because computer is not human, You can get it to play things and sing with it and all that, but back then music was more real,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is there since the music industry has changed tremendously, is there anything that you like or dislike about the industry, the music, the songs today? Yes.
Well, I told you, if I'm with the right engineers and stuff, I like the recordings of today. I have a song coming out real soon that everybody really likes. It's called Ficklicious. It's for our thick ladies out there, It's kind of pushing them. I kind of similar to the way Brick House
Harvey.
did, And it's like, I don't need no brick house, I need a thick house.
You want to give them a little sound of Ficklicious?
Ficklicious, It's real funky.
So you heard it here first, boys.
And see, they want to get America back to dancing again, like Europe never stopped. They danced when I went to the clubs over there. Everybody was dancing. It was just, it was unbelievable, And the disco era here used to be like that in the 70s. It was just fun going out, And there wasn't as much murders and crimes and stuff like that, because people, when they went out,
You just had fun.
yeah, they didn't have guns and stuff. They went out with their George Bush suit on, George Bush suit on. Whatever, and danced all night.
Right, just dance and have fun.
Right.
Get to know people.
And what leads you up to Disco Lady was one of the top songs that they was dancing to.
Top.
Shake it up, shake it down, move it in, move it round, Disco Lady. Yeah.
I'm gonna play this song.
Yeah. They used to party and dance it up a lot.
Yes, we love that song. We love music.
Yeah.
And Mr. Scales, we just want to thank you so much for creating Disco Lady, which sold over 2 million records. And that's what made Mr. Harvey Scales the first certified platinum songwriter in the world. And as Tom Joyner would say,
that was the first platinum.
A black man.
First platinum. Matter of fact, when I got it, they sent it to me. I was never water would to my hand. Back then they were seniors a lot of time. So they send it to me, and I said, "What is this? I'm supposed to have another gold record. This stuff here ain't even shining, you know, because platinum is not as shiny as gold, you know. And as a matter of fact, it's got almost a silver look to it, you know." You know, yeah, but I was blessed to get it, and I'm happy about that.
And so, Mrs. Scales, we just want to thank the first certified platinum songwriter in the world, and also Grammy, maybe double Grammy songwriter, and also a gold songwriter. And as Tom Joyner would say, imagine that.
Hey, Priscilla. Yes, I just want to add this. Some of the stuff that people I'm working with now, instead of old school, they refuse to say old school. They call it real school.
It was real school.
Yeah,
it is real school.
It's real school, and they doing the REEL school, and that's Gus Wehrman. I told you I was going to introduce him to you.
Thank you.
Gus will work hand in hand with the Shylights from the beginning. Curtis Mayfield, Gene Chandler, Jerry Butler. You know, Otis LaBelle, Major Lance, who was all together back there, you know. And he was one of the first guys with the record company. It was a record company before Motown. They really pushed the Black American music, and it was called VJ.
VJ.
Yeah. But I'm glad to be working with Real School, and also with my man is doing the Genius production thing, because he realized that we're all geniuses in some way.
But this is the real genius, and thank you so much for joining us tonight, audience, with Mr. Harvey Scales, as we look over the shoulders of none other than Mr. Harvey Scales here in Illinois. Thank you so much. We love you, listening audience.
I love y'all. Yes, I do.
You know.